So hello everyone, this is Glenis Gassmann, and today we're in the studio with Phil East from Profit Improvers. Phil is a business coach and a top marketing strategist and knows and understands the fundamentals and principles that help small business owners see dramatic and immediate increases in both their revenue and profits, no matter what type of business or industry that you're in. And for everyone listening that owns their own small business, how would you like a simple, proven and tested way that you can double your profits with little effort, time or expense on your part? In fact, what if you could discover a formula today that would create massive exponential growth for your business starting immediately? Well, if you ask any small business owner what they need most in their business, you get the same two answers every time: more customers and more revenue. But here's the problem: what does it take to produce more customers and more revenue? And how can you do that consistently? That's why Phil is here with us today. And Phil, welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Glenis. It's a pleasure to be here. Now, you just asked a great question, so I think we should just dive straight in and give your listeners some cutting-edge information that they can use in their own business. You mentioned about the top two hot button issues that we constantly hear when we speak with small business owners, and that is customers and revenue. So let's simplify this and focus first on our customers. To get customers, you must, of course, generate leads, and then you must convert those leads into customers. So by breaking down the end result into your leads and conversions, and you put together a strategic plan of action to achieve that end result. Now, for revenue, once you generate leads and convert those leads into clients, those clients will pay you, of course, a specific amount for what you sell. And the price you charge should always be based on the value you provide. So price and value are the two components in the revenue equation, and then it continues on from there.
Great. So what's next?
Well, of course, you have your expenses to pay, and those expenses come straight out of revenue and what the revenue that you've just generated. So the next revenue component to consider is your margin. So that's how much of that revenue do you actually get to put in your pocket. And after that, you're still not done. So if your customer only buys from you one time, of course, you're right back where you started, and you need to generate a whole new batch of leads and convert them into clients. And then from there, it sort of becomes a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And that's certainly frustrating to a lot of business owners. And can they do anything about that situation, Phil?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what if you could compel your clients to increase the number of transactions they complete with you year after year? So instead of a one and done type transaction, what if you could increase the number of times they buy from you? So I think, Glenis, you think about this: if you could find a way to get just 25% of your current customers to buy 5 times from you every year instead of just once, your total annual revenue would double. Numbers, it doesn't sort of seem like that, but most business owners focus solely on generating more leads instead of finding ways to get their current customers to spend more money with them. But here's why every small business owner needs to understand. It's the Pareto Principle, or the 80-20 rule, and here's how it applies to small business owners. This 20% of what small business owners do every day actually produces 80% of their total revenue. So in other words, there's only a few things that generate the majority of the revenue we make every day. So over the years, working with business owners, we've sort of discovered what makes up that 20% and what they should focus on exclusively.
Wow. So hold on a minute, Phil. Everyone, if you don't have a pen and paper in front of you right now, you might want to grab something and write these things down.
Well, that's good advice, Glenis. Here we go. All right, so these are the 5 critical areas that every small business owner must focus on in order to build a multi-million-dollar business. They are leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and profit. That's it. So let me use some specific numbers to illustrate exactly the importance of these 5 areas. So say you wanted to double your profits and create exponential growth, you have to start with a baseline. So that means you have to actually know your current numbers in each of these areas. So you first need to work out exactly where your numbers are right now. And once you have them, you can work out what you need to do to double those profits and make sure you spend your time doing what you should be doing. Let me give you an example, and I'll start with leads. So let's say your current baseline is 1,000 leads a year. You're converting those leads at 25%, meaning 1 in 4 people you sit in front of agrees to buy from you. So that means you convert 250 of those 1,000 leads into customers. Then we'll assume your number of annual transactions per customer is 10. So your 250 customers buy what you sell 10 times per year. And then if we extend that a bit further, we'll assume that your average price is $100. So keeping my maths pretty standard there, I think your 250 buyers are buying a $100 product from you 10 times a year. That gives a total revenue of $250,000.
Yeah, right there, Phil. That's good. Yeah.
So now if you have it subtract out of that all your expenses, including your rent and mortgage and salaries, marketing, cost of goods, and so on, and you take all those into account, let's assume your total profit margin is 25%. So of the 250,000 in sales, you're only left with a profit of $62,500. So the goal now is to find a way to increase each of these 5 critical metrics in your business.
So, Phil, you're saying that instead of living in a constant state of overwhelm, as most business owners seem to do, these 5 areas can actually have a tremendous impact on their business.
Exactly, Glenis. So let me show you what I mean there. So let's start with leads. Did you know there's 30 separate and distinct strategies that can dramatically increase your leads? And they're all field tested and proven to work.
Really? Really? So could you give us a couple of them, or at least one?
Well, sure. One of the most effective and powerful ways to generate leads today is through a direct mail, targeted direct mail campaign.
Mm.
To me, a campaign means multiple mailings, and since a single mailing doesn't really produce positive results. Now, unfortunately, most business owners never really attempt a direct mail campaign because of the expense that can be involved.
Yeah.
So if you know of that one new customer brings you $100 10 times a year, then you'll know you'll gross over $1,000 from each customer you generate.
Mm.
So if you decide to test direct mail, let's say you elect to initially mail out, say, 25,000 prospects, you can get direct mail sent for around 60 odd cents. So 25,000 at 60 cents means you're spending about 15,000 or investing 15,000 for that mail.
Mm.
Now, typically with direct mail, you're looking at about a 4% response rate. So you get 1,000 new clients. So if we stick to our original 25% close rate, then we'll know we'll get 250 new customers who each bring us in $1,000 of revenue, which totals about 250,000.
Mm.
So if you got your total profit margin of 25, you got your profit of 62.5. So you've obviously made a fair bit of money, and in this example, you've doubled your profit simply by that one strategy. But consider this, Glenis. If one of those strategies I usually teach my clients allows them to execute and direct a mail campaign to as many homes as they want to target and do it all for free. So all this strategy requires from the business owner is just a bit of their time.
Really? You're kidding. That sounds too good to be true, Phil.
Well, Glenis, marketing is an infinite subject, and we're only limited by our imagination and our experience. So one of the great advantages of being a student of marketing across multiple industries is that you begin to see solutions which are normally hidden to people who operate in a single business model. Yep. So if you think about it, if you're in the building game and you've been operating in that space for 25 years, how would you know what, say, a dentist in America, how he markets his business, or a car dealer in Japan? So experienced business coaches bring an outside perspective to their clients, and these fresh insights give their clients the ability to outperform the competition. And in most cases, to completely dominate their market.
Yeah, I actually see what you're saying now.
Yeah. So, Glenis, what if I could show a business owner how they could double their number of leads using a networking strategy? Or how to implement a no-cost, highly effective referral program? Or to set up a lucrative strategy endorsement partnerships where other business owners sell your products or services on your behalf? Or perhaps even, would you like to use a presentation strategy where you host an online presentation highlighting what you do using a webinar or teleseminar? Or what about an internet marketing campaign using Facebook or LinkedIn? Because all these strategies are just a drop in the bucket when it comes to helping you generate all the leads your business can handle, whichever one you choose of these strategies you elect to use for your own business. Do you think most business owners could conservatively say generate at least 10% more leads using that?
Oh, that certainly sounds really reasonable. Can you apply this to an example you've just given us, just so that we've heard the concept? Let's apply it to an example.
Okay, sure. Instead of generating 1,000 leads per year, which was our original number, would you say that conservatively you could easily generate 1,100 leads a year? That's just an extra 100 leads a year or 2 leads a week. And remember, that's just leads, not customers. So if you consider this example, have you ever met a real estate agent? And when you ask them what they say, all they say is, oh, yeah, well, I sell real estate. And it's really not too compelling, is it?
No, yeah.
In fact, well, when you hear it, you probably say, oh, yeah, well, so what? You don't think too much in it, and there's nothing there to make me want to ask a bit more or engage with this person.
Agent. Yeah.
So when real estate's agents, they like networking. They like to get out and about. And so let's say he goes to a networking event and says to everyone, I sell real estate. So let's assume for every 10 people that hear that, there might be one that says, oh, yeah, well, I'll go and have a talk to him because I'm thinking about selling my home. Now, if instead of just saying to him, I sell real estate, suppose he says, I help families buy homes larger than they thought they could afford. Or maybe they say, I can sell any home for top dollar within 29 days. And if I don't, I'll sell the home for free. Now, Glenis, out of 10 people that hear these statements, how many of them do you think might respond now?
Well, oh my gosh, I would think that anyone, even remotely thinking about buying or selling a home, would want to know more from that agent.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
But let's say we'll stay a bit conservative and say that now, instead of one responding, just 2 respond. That's 100% increase in leads, though.
Yeah.
And so just from changing the one sentence that comes out of their mouth. So my question now is, with 30 powerful and proven lead generation strategies available to help the small business owners generate more leads, would you agree that just maybe a 10% increase in leads is an ultra conservative figure?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. In fact, that's kind of a no-brainer, really.
We're coming up with a few no-brainers, Glenis, so that's good.
Yeah.
That takes care of leads. We're only one down. Let's get the second critical area, and that's conversions. So
Mm.
your conversion rate's where your prospect becomes a customer or a client. They agree to buy what you sell. Okay, so this simply means that you found a way to compel their decision-making process, so they chose you over your competition. So what if I could help you convert your leads and close the sale at a rate that's just 10% more than what you're doing now?
That sounds pretty good. So give us some examples. Yeah.
All right. So what if I could teach you a marketing strategy and advertising copy, along with persuasive sales scripts? And look, how can you write them 95% better than most copywriters are doing today?
Mm.
If I could organise and say your copy was so compelling and persuasive, it would position your business as the only logical choice for your prospects to buy from.
Really? Can you do that?
Not just that, Glenis. Suppose I give you a strategy that would teach you how to add so much value that you could sell, you could charge even more for what you're selling with them, what your competitor might charge you. And your prospects wouldn't even think twice about paying that amount. What if it could teach you how to completely eliminate any barriers to entry for your prospects, and how to create irresistible offers and practically force your prospects to buy from you? And perhaps most important, what if we could hand you an entire drip campaign for your prospects who don't even initially buy from you?
Wow, that sounds really a big, impressive list you've just said there. But tell me, I'm really not too sure what a drip campaign is. What's a drip campaign?
A drip campaign is a series of follow-up communications, and usually these days it's email or direct mail, that continually nurtures your prospects until they're finally ready to make a purchase.
Right.
Did you know, Glenis, that the typical prospect doesn't buy until they receive a minimum of 6 marketing messages from you? So
Yeah.
if you're in business today, are you currently sending out a minimum of 6 follow-up messages to your current prospects? If not, you're leaving a fortune on the table.
Yeah, wow. That's an amazing statistic, isn't it? Amazing.
For sure. So now the big question. With all these conversion strategies working for you, would you agree it should be pretty easy to increase your conversion rate from our original 25% to even maybe 35%?
Yeah.
That's would be very easy to do. But as we did with leads, we'll keep our numbers a bit ultra conservative. And so if we could conservatively say, would you have no problem whatsoever increasing it from 25% to 27.5%, just an extra 10%.
Yeah, I think that's probably too conservative, Phil, but I see where you're going. You know, it's like there's a lot of people out there that are going, oh, this is all too good to be true. You know, it's ridiculous because you do this for people all the time, but we'll go with these conservative numbers and so we'll see what comes out at the other end, yeah?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Glenis.
Yeah.
That's too low a number anyway, but we're converting at, say, 27.5% now.
Yeah.
Of our 1,100 leads, which totals, we're now at 302 clients. And remember, we started with just 250 customers. So now we're at 302.
Yeah. Cool. So what's next?
Well, now let's increase our number of transactions. So we're on to number 3. We'll implement a series of strategies that will compel our clients to buy from us more often. So I'll give you a real life example. So last week, I got the carpets in my house cleaned. I had the company clean just 4 rooms. And I paid the guy $120. That was the end of the transaction. There was no process in place to do extra business with him. All he said to me was, if you've got any friends that need their carpet cleaned, please let me know. Now, to be honest with everyone, I hadn't had my carpets cleaned for 2 years, and they really needed it. So what do you think I might have done if he'd suggested to me that I should enroll in his gold program And so he'd have them do them for me for 3 times a year for a special price. Now, I know I'm going to get my carpets cleaned again, but it doesn't mean I'm going to choose him. And in fact, I really only chose him because his company offered a deal that sort of caught my eye.
Yeah.
I didn't know his company from a bar of soap, but now that I hired him, they have the opportunity to get me on the hook for another 3 cleanings a year, rather than coming once every 2 years. And if using that strategy gets just 1 in 3 to sign up for that, then this company has just doubled their sales.
Geez, that's amazing, Phil. You have another one of those really great ideas?
Yeah, sure. I've got a florist. Now, most fellas buy flowers for their better half once a year, if that. Now, suppose we could teach a florist how to set up a continuity program called Lover of the Year, where a guy came into the florist shop once a year to select his pre-arranged package of flowers, gifts, cards, each of them targeting a special date in that calendar year for his better half. So, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, her birthday, their anniversary, and maybe just one day out of the blue, just I'm thinking of your day.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
Now, with each package the guy selects, would include a specific floral arrangement that fits each occasion and a special gift that she'll treasure forever and a romantic card containing a special handwritten message. And all of this can be chosen in about 20 minutes. A florist will guarantee to deliver each arrangement on the appropriate dates and send an email reminder to the guy the day before each delivery so they don't forget the occasion, and to confirm each delivery will be made on time. Now, the florist could also finance the entire cost of the program over 12 months and charge his credit card a set amount each month to make the program an affordable no-brainer. Blokes love this because the entire year is planned out in advance and they don't have to make their typical last-minute dash to pick something up for each occasion. Now, you realise that this florist just conditioned his client to buy from them 5 times a year instead of just once. And do you reckon this guy will tell 4 or 5 of his mates about this unique program? Of course he will. And the version of this strategy can be adapted to work in almost any business in any industry. I can show you how to implement this strategy for any business on the planet.
Wow, that's incredible. So what's the impact then on our original business we've been talking about?
So looking back to our original numbers and remaining ultra conservative, could we assume it would be fairly simple to use strategies like this to easily convert our original 10 visits each year to just 11? So that's an ultra conservative 10%. So now we have 302 clients paying us 11 times a year versus 10 times. And that at $100 a visit, that's $332,000 instead of $302,000.
Wow, I'm starting to see what you referred to earlier as exponential growth.
Exactly. But now let's consider price. And what if I could help you implement a series of targeted strategies that would allow you to instantly increase your sales price with no effect whatsoever on your conversion rate?
With no effect on conversions? Now you've got my attention even more.
Well, did you know that price is one of the least understood components when it comes to small business ownership? Let me explain in very basic terms for those of you who are small business owners. You'll pay very close attention to what I'm about to say. This is a major revelation for you. So suppose you sell a product for $100 and the net product is 25%. That means after you pay the rent, the salaries and commissions, costs of your product and resell it and everything goes, but you get $25 out of that 100 into your bank account. So what happens if you can increase that price by just 10%? Now, that extra 10% is pure profit. So typically there's no extra expenses. You don't have to factor in any more to determine your net profit. So in fact, your net profit just increased from $25 to $35. So that means your profit on this one product just increased by a whopping 40%.
That makes sense, but is increasing your pricing really feasible? You know, most business owners I know lie awake in bed all night trying to figure out ways to lower their prices so that they can become more competitive.
Yeah, they do. So the question then becomes, how can you increase your prices and get away with it? So there's two key methods here that will allow you to do that, and they go hand in hand. The first is you've got to add some more value, and the easiest way to do that is through bundling. And bundling is where you take various products and services and put them together to create some new higher priced offering. And you see this all the time in infomercials where they wow you with versatility and convenience of the new wave oven, and then they add everything in, including the kitchen sink, to create the perception of massive value. If you watch these infomercials when you next see them on TV, you'll see they all follow the exact same bundling formula, and including right at the end when they make their offer a complete no-brainer by deciding they'll send you two of their products for the same price as they offered you for one. You know, the George Foreman grill, Nutri-System, the Snuggie, ShamWow, the list is endless. But they all use bundling to increase the price of increase their price into perceived value, and they make a fortune doing it. The other factor is to explain the reason why you're increasing your prices to your customers. So if you say to them, I had to increase my prices 10% because of X, Y, Z, then more often than not, they'll let you do it. They'll let you get away with it. But there's another revelation for all the small business owners that are listening.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest and fastest way to increase your prices is to increase your prices.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, right. Just simply raise your prices, say 10%. So here's why. So most small business owners compete on price. So increasing their pricing has never been an option, much less a consideration. And that's because they've never considered the facts when it comes to increasing their prices. So I'll give you an example. Let's say a business sells a widget for $100 with a profit of 30%. If they discount their price by just 10% to $90, they've now got to sell 50% more widgets just to get back their original profit margin. So does any business owner today really think a measly 10% discount will generate 50% more sales? Most of them offer discounts ranging from 25 to 50%, and then they wonder why they're going broke.
Yeah.
But watch what happens. Like if you increase your price, so let's say your business charges 10% more for that widget. So now they're making $110 instead of $100. Now ask yourself this question. How many, or will that small increase really lead to a loss of customers? Probably won't, unless the business offers it's a commodity type business and there's a heap of competitors offering the exact same thing at a lower price. Then it's convenience and not price that comes into play. But even if it does, customers do leave, how many of them are going to leave? With a 10% increase, the business owner is now making an additional $10, all of which is profit. That's a 33.3 or 33% profit increase. So for this business to make $1,000 in profit selling their widgets at $100 each, they'd need to sell 33 widgets. But by increasing their price by 10%, now they only need to sell 25. So that means just to break even, this business could lose 25% of its customers over a measly 10% price increase. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not. No, of course not, I'd reckon. You always want to err on the side of caution and test the increase on a small scale to gauge the reaction. But trust me when I say that any customer attrition will be minuscule. So increasing the prices of products or services results in immediate increase in revenue and profits. So if you look back at our original numbers, if we increase our original price by just 10% to $110, our total revenue has increased now from $332,000 to $365,000.
Okay, that's great. And then you mentioned 5 areas of growth. So what's the number 5?
Well, Glenis, last but not least is profit. Now, everything we've just discussed is basically worthless if you aren't making a profit on each and every sale you make. And I can teach you ways to slash your costs without affecting your day-to-day business operations. For example, I can show you how to use the art of barter, been around for centuries, to significantly reduce or even completely eliminate many of your everyday expenses. So you've got accounting, bookkeeping, printing, advertising, office supplies, and other everyday business expenses that can be dramatically reduced or possibly eliminated by following our barter strategies. So do you realise that you can see a huge increase in your profit margins just by properly identifying and targeting your ideal client? So this gets back to our 80-20 rule that we discussed earlier. In this case, it refers to the fact that 20% of your clients generate 80% of your total profits. So if you can replace the 80% of your low margin clients with more of your 20% high margin groups, you'll see your margins explode, and sometimes by as much as 16 times. Another example, say if you separate your business from your competition by becoming unique in what you do. Setting yourself apart from the herd creates massive competitive advantage that can skyrocket your profit margins. So one of our clients used to manufacture 1,000 different types of ceramic tiles and accessories, and he voluntarily discontinued 80% of his products, and he focused his sales and development efforts on those products that gave him a competitive edge. So the result has been the rebirth of his company, where he's doubled his profit margin and increased his sales.
That's amazing, Phil.
Yeah. So we'll assume you implement just one of these strategies, Glenis, and keep their numbers ultra conservative. Let's say your profit margins increase just 10% and go from 25% to 27.5%. Now, we go from our original profit figure of $62,500, and we've loaded that up to a massive $100,000. So we've now got over $100,000 in profit, and we've almost doubled our profits, which was our original goal. So we haven't done too bad.
That's incredible, and it's so logical, it's frightening.
Yeah, we're not talking about major changes here, are we?
No, yeah.
Small incremental changes that barely cause any disruption to your current business. Any business owner can do this.
Well, we have a ton of business owners listening today. Is there some way that we can take advantage of all of this information?
Well, the team and I have created a complete online small business coaching platform that can not only double or triple your profits, but it can create exponential growth for any business starting today. So when you use all of our tools, resources, and templates, along with the powerful audio and video training that we make available to you, you'll be immediately begin to see the results exactly like this.
Okay, well, let me play devil's advocate just for a minute. I think I know what most business owners are thinking right now. Can you actually prove to us in advance that this works?
Oh, that's a great question, Glenis. And the answer is yes, of course. In fact, I'll prove any small business owner that this works by offering to put a large sum of money directly into their pocket, and I won't charge them a cent to do it. So if any of your listeners will invest just 45 minutes of their time with me, I'll find them a minimum of $10,000 in extra profits hidden in their business. Guaranteed. Now, I know that sounds too good to be true, but I assure you that finding more than $10,000 for any small business owner is mere child's play. In fact, when I do these 10K challenges, as I like to call them, I typically find well north of $100,000 for them.
Wow.
I can do that because my partners and I have worked with thousands of business owners all over the world. And we've discovered that none of them are applying these very simple and easy business growth strategies that can unleash tens of thousands of dollars hidden revenue in just a matter of minutes. So to everyone listening here today, just give me 45 minutes of your time, and using just 3 or 4 simple growth strategies, I'll find you a minimum $10,000 hidden in your business without spending a cent extra on marketing or advertising.
That's an incredible offer, Phil. So what's the catch?
Yeah, well, you've got me, Glenis. There is a catch, because I do want something in return for my time to do this. So I'm currently writing a book that documents the process that I use to find more than $10,000 for small business owners. And my publisher's just asked me to get 12 additional case studies to place in that book. So, and that officially documents my ability to find the type of money for any business in any industry. So listen, I want to be completely transparent here and regarding this offer. So the case studies I use in my book are going to enable me to generate a ton of new clients for myself.
Yeah.
So if you think about it for a minute, I go and find, let's say, a daycare centre at an additional $178,000 in profit, and they could be putting into their pocket every year, but aren't. So Glenis, I guarantee that every one of those strategies I use to find that daycare additional revenue, I will apply to every other daycare on the planet.
Yeah.
So look at the leverage that comes with me as a business growth strategist. I can now call up any daycare anywhere in the world and tell them I just met with one of their competitors, XYZ Daycare, and in less than 45 minutes, I found them $178,000 in additional revenue for their business. So I'm calling you because my initial research indicates I could produce a similar and possibly better results for your daycare. And I'd be interested in speaking with you about the possible profit sharing arrangement with your daycare. So could we schedule a brief 45-minute meeting and let me see if this type of revenue increase is possible for your daycare? Now, what do you think they'll say, Glenis? Talk about a no-brainer. Every case study I generate opens up a new niche market for me to contact and bring in new clients for my coaching practice. And that's why I'm offering this opportunity to your listeners. Not to mention I'm passionate about helping these people. They're the lifeblood of our economy and get so little credit. So all I'm asking of your listeners in return for this service is that they allow me to use their results as a case study in my book. And this may also be important for your listeners. I don't have to use your name or the name of your business if you prefer that I don't. I can simply list your profession and leave off your name and the name of your business. The main interest is to document that your actual results and nothing more than that.
Wow. So for all those who are interested in accepting your offer, do they need to meet with you in person, Phil?
Not at all, Glenis. I can do this easily over the phone. So it's totally convenient for those who want to participate. So again, any of you who are interested in putting an extra $10,000 or more in your pocket for spending 45 minutes speaking with me over the phone, just go to profitimprover.com.au. So that'll take you to my website, or you can just email me direct and we'll tee up a time. It's phil@profitimprover.com.au. So I'll call you on the day and the time, and in case anyone's wondering, the meeting won't be a sales call. I won't be selling anything whatsoever during the conversation, and I'm going to strictly focus on finding you additional revenue and profits.
Phil, that is an incredible offer. think I may just have to take you up on that myself. But listen, thank you so much for being on the program today. I don't recall anyone I've ever interviewed providing so much practical and applicable information in such a short time frame. You know, would you mind repeating that URL again where people can give you a call or email you direct to apply for your, you know, $10,000 challenge?
Yeah, sure, Glenis. That's just shoot me an email at phil@profitimprover.com.au and we'll organise a time, and then we'll start figuring out where you'd like to spend all your additional revenue that I'm going to unlock for you.
That's great. So it's phil@profitimprover, Profit Improver, not Provers, Profit Improver.
Profit Improver.
Yep. profitimprover.com, email direct, phil@profitimprover.com.
.au.
And just put in the subject line 10,000 challenge, and he'll contact you and arrange the time. Well, again, Phil, thank you for your very generous offer, and business owners that are listening out there. You know, that's a top sales and marketing strategist you've been listening to today, Phil East from Profit Improver. I hope that you got much out of today's interview as I did. I think I've taken close to 5 full pages of notes. I was sort of humming and hawing, and I was going, yeah. But, you know, I have got 5 pages of notes here. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. And thank you to Phil again. And have a fabulous week, everyone. And we'll see you again soon.